Hey guys, welcome to this video. Today we're going to be watching the back rooms. Not really, since I don't know. I'm gonna watch this YouTuber named Brugly, something like that. Okay, the first 13 levels, backrooms levels explained. Okay, I'm reading a little too fast. And put caps on.
Hello everyone, and welcome to a huge video on the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the first 12 levels of the backrooms in one of the biggest videos on the channel. Back in December when I did Brugmas, I did a video every day about the first 12 levels. So day 1 was level 0, day 2 was level 1, and so on and so forth. And since then, I've had a ton of people asking me to compile those explanations into one. Yeah, thank you so much for your support. The road to 100k is on, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Level 0, aka the Tutorial Zone, is the first level in the backrooms. It's classified as a class 1, so it's safe and secure and has a minimal entity count, even though there are no known entities here. This level is the one that most people no-clip into as soon as they land in the backrooms. You all know what the level looks like, and you probably heard it a million times, but it's Brugmas, and I'm gonna say it all again. Level 0...
Isn't this like a real photo? I think this is. Bro, the backrooms is real!
is a network of rooms that all have this famous backrooms wallpaper. You know what it is? It's that yellow, dingy looking thing. It's nasty, really. The carpet here is damp, and it smells like it too, and there's this dingy fluorescent lighting all over that's flickering in some places, and it's also emitting this buzzing noise from the lights. The buzzing noise would already drive me to insanity. The buzzing on this level is much louder than normal fluorescent lights from real life, and it's unknown why it's so loud. It's almost like it's being loud just to be annoying. I mentioned it, but the carpet here is moist, and it's also unknown what liquid is making it moist, but what is known is that it's not safe to drink. Obviously. Who's gonna be drinking carpet juice, bro? What? An important thing to remember when talking about level 0 is that the space there is non-linear. This means that you could walk in a quote-unquote straight line and end up right back where you started. And if you try to go back the way you came, you could end up in a completely different set of rooms. So this makes the level quite disorienting and confusing, especially since the people that are here just landed in. And couple that with the fact that compasses and GPSs don't work, and you've got a recipe for disaster. Also, radio communications are really disoriented and scrambled, so it makes it pointless to even try to connect with radios. Some people consider level 0 as the scariest level in the backrooms because of the initial shock factor you get from being completely alone and in a literal alternate dimension, which I can see. Even though there's no entities here, it's still one of the most terrifying. An interesting fact is that even though level 0 is the main way to enter the backrooms, there's never been any reports of wanderers interacting with each other in this level. And there's also been no corpses ever found here, but it's assumed that there's a ton of them, because there's no way every single person lives in this level. So let's say a group of people attempts to enter level 0 from a different level. If they do, they'll be split up, and they won't even be able to meet back up until they leave the level. So it's literally like the level puts you in solitary confinement on purpose. Obviously, this solitude and the weird non-linear structure makes people's minds play tricks on them. It's a given that hallucinations are common on this level, specifically the hallucination of doors or stairs or hearing humans talking, or you can hallucinate random movement in the corner of your eyes and your peripheral vision, and sometimes the humming of the lights can be so loud that you can hallucinate going deaf, or you can just hear random insects chittering. And yeah, couple all those hallucinations with being completely alone and isolated in a random space that seems endless, and you might go crazy. Like I said earlier, there are no known entities here, and you can't even run into another wanderer. So if you think you hear something, you don't. You're just going crazy. To enter level 0, you have to no-clip from the reality of Earth. Simple as that. To exit level 0, there are a few more ways. The main way is you can learn to no-clip through a wall or floor by practicing yourself. And this will put you on the next level, which is level 1. But there's also a slight chance that if you walk far enough in any direction, that you'll end up in a place called the Manila Room, which is a medium-sized square room that appears to have literally no relationship with the other levels. It seems completely random. This room has small wooden chairs inside, and it gives off just a weird vibe. But something good about the Manila Room is that wanderers can meet up here and they can actually you see each other, unlike in the main part of level 0 where you can't meet anybody. There's also documents from Meg that are available in the Manila room that people can read up on, and it'll tell them how to survive the backrooms and how to travel from level to level, and most importantly, the papers will teach you how to no-clip. Thanks, Meg. So the explanation I just gave is for the newer, revised version of level 0 from the Wikidot. The first version of level 0 doesn't exist anymore, obviously, because it was archived. There are several key differences in the official version that we have now and the archive version, so I thought I'd go over some of the differences here. In the official version, there are just an infinite labyrinth of yellow rooms everywhere, with an endless length of hallways and segments, stuff like that. But in the archives version, there was a little bit more to it. Like there were electrical outlets on the wall, and there were surveillance cameras on the ceiling, and instead of it only being yellow walls, there were occasional red rooms that you could walk in, and occasional pitch black hallways you could walk in as well. But other than that, they were pretty much the same. They still had the flickering lights, the moist carpet, and the mostly yellow walls. The archive version also had several outposts and entities that are not in the official version, because if you remember what I just said a couple minutes ago, level 0 now has no entities and no outposts. And these outposts and entities are now moved to level 1, which is a pretty good change in my opinion. I think it makes it creepier, which you'll see those outposts in tomorrow's video, which will be on level 1. Ha! A cliffhanger. Get destroyed. Level 1 of the backrooms is considered a class 1 area because of these reasons that I always say, so I'm just gonna show you. The level looks like a huge warehouse that has concrete floors and walls, and there's even like exposed rebar everywhere. Additionally, there's some fog that hangs really low to the ground on this level, and it comes from an unknown source. Nice. So the fog causes condensation to happen, which makes these puddles form on the ground. So unlike level 0, this level has a constant supply of water that you can actually drink, and electricity that doesn't make a humming noise. This makes level 1 a welcome sight for weary travelers. This level can get really expansive though. It's got staircases and elevators and secluded rooms and winding hallways all throughout, so try your best not to get lost. This level produces random crates with supplies that seem to appear and disappear at random. These crates can contain food and almond water, and sometimes they even have batteries, tarps, clothes, medical equipment, and weaponry. Nice. But sometimes the boxes have really dumb stuff, like random car parts or boxes of crayons, or even live mice. What? Some crates also have loose change or human hair, so that's nice, I guess. These crates should be approached with caution since what's inside of them is random, but you definitely should approach them just in case there's good stuff, obviously. A weird quirk about this level is that there are strange, crude drawings and paintings of an unknown origin that appear on the walls and floors of the level. They sometimes change how they look, and they sometimes also disappear when you're not looking at them. Just like levels just hang around a bright spot, and you should be good. Also, since the objects disappear randomly, it's been found that if you actually hold on to the objects, then they don't disappear. They seem to only disappear when they're just laying by themselves. An area called the Hub is also located on level 1. It's a long tunnel that has doors to different levels on it. Most of the time there are wanderers here, and it's actually a pretty popular area. Level 1 is home to the first main Meg base, which if you remember from my level 0 explained video, used to be in the archived version of level 0, but it got moved to level 1. I think it's for the better. The base is named Base Alpha, and it houses about half of all of the Meg teams. They also take wanderers in as well. The base is located near an entrance to the level, and is heavily guarded in order to ward off creatures, obviously. The next outpost is called the BNTG's Trader's Keep. The BNTG stands for Backrooms National Trade Group, which I've already made a video about them, and there are about 415 people who live here constantly, and they keep a friendly relationship with Meg. And this place is sort of normalcy. It's located in the storage hall section of level 1. The last out, the main supply scattered throughout the, and this is the last of the levels that you could be sent to when you first enter the backrooms. The majority of the people land in level 0, and some land in level 1. In some rare cases, you can land in level 2. And if you do, your luck is terrible. Like, you have the worst luck ever. Level 2's layout is pretty much an infinite labyrinth of low-light, concrete maintenance tunnels that go on for hundreds of thousands of miles. The walls in the hallway are all lined with pipes, and sometimes there are even air ducts in the ceiling and on the walls. And these air ducts typically have a thick black liquid that comes out of them, and it's unknown what this is. Scattered around these halls are random doors, and they're all over the place. Some of the doors are locked, and some of them are open, but the ones that are open mostly lead nowhere, except sometimes there's a rare exit. We'll talk about that later. These rooms that dead end normally have shelves with seemingly random objects on them, ranging from pieces of scrap metal to computers, which is weird. The hallways in this level are normally a pretty comfortable temperature until you get to some of the segments where it can get...
I'm gonna tell you something. My next video is gonna... I have a plan. It's gonna be how many backrooms levels are there. It's gonna be coming up like maybe tomorrow. I already reacted to it. I just need to edit it. I only put HELL in like my song shorts. I never put HELL in my like videos. So if YouTube you're hearing that, just make sure.
Up to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, or 43 degrees Celsius. These hotters hide in the shadows. There's also child facelings, clumps, hounds, death moths, skin stealers, and this guy. Gotcha. These creatures lurk in the hallways constantly, so it's probably best to just avoid them at all costs. Interestingly enough, there are a couple bases and outposts here, and the first one is called the Survivors, which consists of about 29 people who literally just explore this level. It's kind of lame, but whatever. The leader of this ragtag group is named Austin, and they're pretty friendly and they're willing. This level to me is like the first real experience with entities you get, so be warned. Level 3 of the backrooms is classified as Class 4, so it's unsafe and unsecure, and it has a medium entity count. This is actually the first real test for people who are new to the backrooms. Level 2 was kind of a warm-up level for this one, because Level 3 consists of a ton of looping dark hallways that behave kind of like the ones from Level 0, but not to the full extent. Each of the hallways juts off into random... Drive me insane. The hallways themselves are really...
Before backrooms map. I don't think there's any maps in the backrooms. They all change for every single person, I think.
It's for all the stuff you can get.
Before.
Level 4, aka the Abandoned Office, is classified as a Class 1 survival difficulty, and is safe, secure, and has minimal entities. Only 2. This level is mainly known for being the main source of almond water in the backrooms. Nice. It physically looks like an entire empty office building with stairwells and hallways and stuff like that, and it has pretty much no furniture. There are windows here, but they're mainly blacked out, and the ones that look normal, like there's light coming through them, are window traps, so don't go near them. Like I said earlier, there are only 2 entities that have been seen here, and those are hounds and dullars, but one person did claim they saw a smiler, so they might be here too. Due to there not being many entities here, and there's also an abundance of almond water, this means there's tons of people here, pretty much all the time. The almond water is in coolers, vending machines, and water fountains all over the level, and it never seems to run out. How convenient. Another convenient thing about level 4 is that it's very easy to enter and exit, but more on that in a second. Level 4 is considered one of the best places in the entire backrooms to meet up with other wanderers and to gather supplies, and it's definitely a safe spot to rest. There are several outposts here, but most notably, Meg Base Omega is here, which is the second main Meg base. This base is heavily guarded, and it's located near an exit of this level. The next outpost is called Amor Incrementum. If the name didn't give it away, this group is a cult. A cult who worships agriculture. It's one of the smallest documented groups in the backrooms, as it only has 10 members. And the plants they worship and grow aren't even plants, they're mold, so I don't know what's up with them. The last group here is called the TBD, or To Be Determined, which is a group of about 6 people who literally just hoard the resources on this level for themselves, the most common way, or you can take it. Yeah, that's literally it.
Level 5.
Level 5, aka Terror Hotel, is classified as a Class 2 survival difficulty. It's unsafe and unsecure, and it has a low entity count. Now this level is pretty much an infinite hotel complex with a ton of rooms and hallways that are scattered throughout the level. The architecture of the level looks like a hotel that's similar to a hotel building from the mid-1930s, and the furniture in the level seems to be from the early 1920s. Nice. There are 3 parts of this level that are fully easily accessible, and those are the main hall, the Beverly rooms, and the boiler room, but more on those later. The walls all throughout this hotel are covered in decorations from the early 1900s, and there's literally like no dirt and dust at all, which is cool because old stuff tends to get dusty. The level is clean because it seems to be able to clean itself somehow. If a spot does get dirty or dusty, the level will just automatically clean the spot and it'll go back to normal. Nice. The cleanliness of the floors and the pristineness of the decorations causes this level to give off a really weird vibe. The ambient sound on this level is smooth jazz music that's quietly can actually be checked with
I'm not listening to any of this. Skip to this. I'm not hearing all of that. You think this
You know, just your typical level. Nice.
typical level?
Level 6 is classified as class pending, so it's got an unknown safety, and the level is completely unsecured. There's also an unknown number of entities, or there might be no entities, because no one knows. Pretty much nothing besides the floors and the walls are even known about this level. The level is made up of a bunch of hallways with floors that are made out of bricks and walls that are made out of metal, and the entire level is 100% completely and utterly dark, and there's literally no way to make it brighter. Flashlights and fire, everything else that can make light doesn't even work here, and since it's so dark, it's unknown how big the level is. It could be infinite, we don't know. It's also impossible to see other wanderers here simply because there's no light, and no matter how open your eyes are, you literally can't see anything without light, so you could just walk right past someone and not even see them. There's been some reported sightings of smilers, but the main theory on that is that they're just hallucinations because people make things up when they're deprived of sight. I don't know. I'd see stuff too if I was completely sensory deprived. This level has been known to influence people's grasps on reality. Some people get the symptoms of paranoia and extreme derealization. Even though the level is dangerous, they still feel vulnerable and scared. Just the fact that it's so dark makes a person go crazy. Even the best explorers say that this level is one of the most dangerous ones they've explored, and a large portion of the people who go here never come out. Nice. There are no bases here, obviously, and the level can only be entered through the boiler room from level 5, which I covered in yesterday's video, link below. To exit this level, you have a small chance of just wandering deep enough into it and being sent to level 7, or you can just randomly bump into a wall and no clip out of it. And in some really rare scenarios, there's a random door that you could just walk through. So yeah, level 6 is a pitch black level where the lights don't work and you go crazy.
Okay.
Level 7 of the Backrooms, aka level Thalassophobia, is classified as class 4 and is unsafe and unsecure and has a medium entity count. I wonder if you guys ever get tired of hearing me say that. You probably do. This level is a very difficult level to get through and is said to be a, quote, significant obstacle to the exploration of level 8 and further on. Nice. Not much is known about level 7 and not too many people have even explored it. But what is known is that the level is made up of 2 distinct areas. The first area is called the entrance area, and the second area is called the main area. Really creative names there. The main area is pretty much a huge expanse of water, similar to the ocean in real life, except this goes straight down to get to the different parts of the ocean. And there's a bunch of segments you can pass through, but we'll get onto that stuff later. This level doesn't have any fixed light sources at all, and there's no visible sun, and the only fixed light source is in the entrance area, and there's just a lingering dim light to the entire level. Some of the water in the main area of level 7 is extremely cold and has been compared to touching liquid nitrogen, which means you probably shouldn't stay in it for too long, obviously. Now I'm going to talk about the 2 different areas, starting with the entrance area. This is the only known entrance to level 7, and it's a fully furnished room with a bookcase, a coffee table, and a lone chair.
It's kind of long. That's why I'm not going. Whoa,
There are vines and bushes, and sometimes there are pools of standing almond water. However, this almond water isn't safe to drink because there's an excess amount of minerals in it. There are also some pools filled with a tar-like substance that if you walk in, hands covered with tar will reach out of it and attempt to grab you and drag you to your demise.
Thank you. Let me say that.
This one is a really scary level just because more so its physical layout. It's just an infinite dark cave with caverns
How dare you?
5, unsafe, unsecure, and is infested with entities. So pretty much the level is just an infinite suburb where it's always nighttime. The houses here are all different as well in size and shape and what's inside of them, except there's one report where someone claimed that there were 2 houses next to each other that were exactly the same, which is weird. Inside the houses themselves, everything seems to be fully furnished and it all looks pretty new. The only thing is that there's no power source to power any of the electronics or any stuff like that. There's a multitude of useful objects that can be found inside the houses though, but some of the houses are just empty. All the houses are pretty normal. Some of the houses even have full backyards with backyard stuff like balls and playhouses and grills, stuff like that. But there is one weird aspect of this level that makes it a little bit more eerie. Sometimes you'll run into 2 houses that have clipped inside of each other, which in reality is physically impossible, obviously. But hey, this is the backrooms and it's not impossible. The most dangerous part of level 9 is actually the streets, because that's where the entities roam. And there are tons of entities here because, well, it's infested, like I said. But there are also some foggy areas where the mangled can spawn. So watch out for that. The main entities here are death moths, smilers, skin stealers, Jerry, hounds, transporters, death rats, anithicas, and wretches. So pretty much they're some of the worst entities. And there are even some level exclusive entities here as well, like the Neighborhood Watch, the Observer, and the Mangled. The Neighborhood Watch entity is literally a species that looks like a giant human eye, and they're extremely aggressive. Nice. The Mangled are huge 30 to 50 feet tall creatures that look like they're kind of on stilts. Their bodies look old and they have saggy skin. They live in the house. Sewer gates, you can find a playground and get into a tube slide, and that'll send you to level 283. That are secure and has minimal entities. Level 10 physically is a infinite wheat field that has a dirt wheat kind of
boring. You can go check it out yourself.
that are fully stay here. Infinite wheat field.
There. That's what? I'm gonna put that in the video. It's already in the video. I'm not gonna take it.
Wet. Nice.
If you're watching me, I think
Level 11 is classified as a Class 1 difficulty and is safe, secure, and has a minimal entity count. The level is pretty much an infinite city with skyscrapers and other city type buildings. The cool thing about it though is that some of the buildings in this level are buildings from real life, but more on that later. Now to what's inside the buildings. This varies between each building. Some of them are empty and some of them are full. The same goes for actually entering the buildings. You can actually go into some, and some you can't go in. The actual contents of the inside of the buildings can be weird though, because some aspects of them don't make any sense. Like some stairways lead to nothing, and there are some doors on the top levels of buildings that just open to the outside, where you can just walk out and fall to your demise. I don't know, it's weird. Also, pretty 9 has so who.
no one cares. This is the boringest. What? Yes, you can take pictures because you can't take pictures. I don't know, Graham.
In it almost like censors itself. So if you try to take a picture or a video of it, all you'll see when you look back at the footage or the picture is TV static. Nice. But the physical description of the level is actually pretty simple. It's a tiny white room with only a table and a chair in the middle. There's a door on the opposite wall, and it's also locked. Many wanderers have gotten here and have exited successfully, but they don't even know how they did it, because they can't remember how they got here or how they left. This is because the level puts a fogginess over everyone's brain and it doesn't let them think straight. The people who have been here claim that the level actually isn't just a tiny white room. They claim it's a labyrinth of white rooms and doors and tables that go on forever and ever. Nice. But there is a theorized exit that's found in a log from a Meg team that explored the level. And it goes like this. You must be sitting on the original main room chair, and you must have remained there for an average of 15 minutes. Get up, walk to the door, and try to open it. Should be locked. If it opens, lucky you, I guess. Go and boast about it to everyone in Alpha Base. Make sure you do this though, even if you know it's locked. Then return to the center of the room and find one of the nooks that leads into this wide opening. Exactly. If the door does open, it should lead to the out. So yeah, that was it for the huge compilation of level explanations of the first 12 levels. I'm eventually going to do the first 50, 100, 500. I'm going to do them all eventually and compile them into one massive video, but that'll be later down on the road. And this is just the first taste of that. Thank you so much for the support on the videos recently. If you're watching till now, you're awesome. Thank you for watching this whole video. Really appreciate it. Thank you as always to my patrons, my channel members for supporting me a little bit extra. I really appreciate all you do for me. Go join the Brugly SMP down below. Everything is going great on there. Super fun time. And go sub to my second channel, Toogly, for some gaming videos, specifically Minecraft. Thank you all so much for all of your support. We're on the road to 100K. At the beginning of the year, the original goal was to hit 100K by my birthday in May, but we're going to do it sooner. Thank you all so much. There's some awesome stuff coming. I have some custom levels I made and some new style videos coming out. Thank you for your continued support, and I will see you later.
This is Brugly. Visit channel. Oh, I forgot. I've watched this YouTuber before. I subscribed to him. Oh, this is his live streams. Okay, he has live streams. You have shorts like copyrighted. Horrible news for the Backrooms community. It got copyrighted. Yay! I don't want to be there anymore. What the? I want to watch this video.
Toes or facial features or anything like that, and it just seems to be one big misshapen shadowy figure. Now, despite not having visible eyes or ears or anything, Puppy can sense where you're at on the level and can find you very easily by hunting you down. Now, Puppy has never been seen walking. It's actually thought that Puppy just teleports everywhere it wants to go with the snap of a finger or just a thought. But it only seems to do this when you're not looking directly at it. Meaning that if you turn around just in time to see it, it'll have to stay 100% still until you look away. Now, you might feel the need to look away because Puppy is very disturbing to look at, and some people have actually reported saying that it's completely impossible to stare, almost like it's against human nature to see this unnatural shadow black hole thing. And Puppy gets even more disturbing though, because it doesn't actually outright attack you physically.